Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the second lecture of the 2026 Ariel Distinguished Lecture Series hosted by the Department of Religious Study at the University of West. My name is Miro Saki, and I'm Chair and Associate Professor in the Department of Religious Study. Since the fall 2020, the Department of Religious Study has proudly organized this Distinguished Lecture Series, and we are delighted to mark 5 years of this initiative. Throughout this time, our goal has been to deepen understanding of religious tradition, encourage meaningful intellectual exchange, and connect our community with scholars shaping the future of religious study. So it is my great pleasure to introduce today's distinguished speaker and my friend, Dr. Sanjoy Chowdhury, who has traveled from Bangkok, Thailand to join us. Dr. Chowdhury is a lecturer and faculty member at the College of Religious Study at Mahidol University, and he earned his PhD in Buddhist studies from Chulalongkorn Vidyalaya University in Thailand. His research focuses on Theravada Buddhism, particularly the history, heritage, and textual tradition of South and Southeast Asia. With expertise in Pali, Sanskrit, Bengali manuscript, he has published widely on Buddhist philosophy, Buddhism in Bangladesh, and contemporary Buddhist movement across Asia. And today's lecture is titled Bongabhumi's Dharma, Exploring Buddhist Transmission in Bangladesh. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Sanjoy Chowdhury.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mir Shakir, for your very generous introduction about me, and thank you all of Venerable monks, my old friend, and all brothers and sisters. And I'm very happy to be here. And of course, once again, one thank you to University of the West, and of course my host, Dr. Mir Shakir, once again. Okay, so let us begin our session. So you see this title as Bongabhumi. So maybe you may be curious that why I use this title. So this one that that Bongabhumi that we used in Bengal. So now the Bangladesh is since 1971 is a new country, but before Bangladesh, so we have it's a wide range. So it is not not only geographically we are collaborating with West Bengal, but also that we have a civilizational exchange together. So we have a similar culture, similar language, and we share almost everything similar in between both sides. But now this in geographical that we are divided after partition mostly in Bangladesh. But before in the past you can see that sorry, what's happened here. So in the past that we see that both two sides that you can see that red colored board, West Bengal, Bangladesh, and here Assam, Mizoram, other stuff. So but mostly that when the Buddhism in Bangladesh, when we talk about, we cannot escape Chittagong. So mostly that at the moment the Buddhism is rooted from Chittagong, which is we say Chattogram. So it is the southern part of Bangladesh, and I mark it is Gaya. So as you all know, this is a root where Buddhism came from. That's it. So this Bongabhumi, what is that? We said the land of Bengal, that we can tell, we share the same, as I mentioned, the same culture, same language, same thoughts, almost same thought patterns as well. And at present day that we can encompass West Bengal of India and present day Bangladesh, we can combine together as a part of Bongabhumi or land of Bengal. So as it also represents that we share the same geographical, cultural, and religious landscape, almost same stuff that we share together. And Bongabhumi is not only a geographic term, but also a civilizational concept describing the historical homeland of Bengali-speaking communities. So when you say Bengali-speaking communities, I say my brothers and sisters and all the friends over there from Bengal. So it's been very, 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 I feel like I'm in Bangladesh. So it's a civilizational connection that we have it. So we still get it here, and so that let us explore. So today I'm going to speak a little, just give some brief overview about Buddhism and Buddhist transmission in present-day Bengal. So start from early stage to contemporary time, and also share a little bit about Buddhist missionary activities in outside of Bangladesh and present-day challenge of Buddhist community in Bangladesh a little bit. So this landscape that I divided into that four stage of Buddhism, four parts. So we start from the earliest stage, since 2,600 years ago, and I divided into four stage. Maybe you can do the scholar can work more and more probably. What is a brief overview that I like to you can see the landscape of this Buddhism. Start from early 6th century BCE and late 1st century, like I said, it's the earliest stage, and medieval period that I divided into from the 2nd century to 12th century. So it is mostly that at that time, Gupta dynasties, Pal dynasty, Kharpa dynasty. So mostly that from this generation, Pal dynasties, the Pala dynasty's contribution more prominent. So we talk, we share a little bit about we reflect from that part as well. And the colonial period, it is quite mysterious time. Actually, after 12th century when the invader, arrived here. So that time it was totally changed. So still that we have some evidence that what happened, but still researchers need to spend more time on that. Still we don't know much, but scholar sometimes I can categorize this time frame as a dark age, whatever they say. And presently that start from mid 18th century. So when the Theravada Buddhist more flourished, so until now. So this part I share. Okay, so let us to see look back 2,600 years ago. We don't know what's happened. We don't have YouTube. We don't have a camera. So, but still, we get some information from record, from scholars, evidence, from travelers, evidence. So, what the first stage of Buddhism in Bangladesh? How it initiated. So. That you can see this map, like in the Bengal is here, some part in here actually Bengal, Manga is an ancient name of Bengal or present-day Bangladesh. So Bengal is here and Magadha state. So 2,600 years ago, so Buddhism initiated from, after it initiated from India. So his teaching was flourished around Magadha. So Magadha was one of the great states among 16 Mahajanapadas that we came to know from Pali scripture, and it says that amongst 16, Magadha was one of the most prominent and prosperous regions, stretching from Pataliputra in the middle of the Magadha and present Bihar in the northern state of India to Banga or present Bangladesh. So it's believed that the range of Magadha probably it was extended until Bengal, until Banga, that part of area. So it was one of the hypotheses. Actually, this evidence, some of the scriptural evidence that we can get it from Pali text, from Anguttara Nikaya, we can see some terms. So etymologically, then we can see that at the time the state was named as Banga. So from Banga, Bangala, Bengal, and present Bangladesh. So it was time to time, it changed actually, from time to time, So from my investigation that I got in this way, maybe it can be more, maybe sometime it can be changed as the name was like Pundrabadhan or Pundra, maybe another form it was. But I got this Bangladesh that present the form, probably it could be, etymologically in that way. It is transformed. So we can say that early Buddhist, from geographically, the Banga is part of this, very close to Magadha. So it is possible. It's not possible that Buddhism was not initiated. It's possible. Buddha came himself. It's possible because he was roaming around. So during this, he traveled almost all over the India. So why not Bengal at the time? So even Myanmar people think that Buddha was Myanmar. So if he was in Myanmar, which route that he followed? Probably this Arkan, probably is this. So then, according to Bengali mythology, legendary, so local people believe that Buddha probably visited a couple of times in the territory of Bangladesh. And scholar like presently contemporary scholar Bangladesh, Professor Dipankar Sigan Barua, one of the great scholars from Java University, he retired recently. So he and Professor Shimul Barua, both of them actually agree that, yeah, it's possible. Actually, both of them work a lot about Buddhism in Bangladesh. Actually, my primary reference I get from Professor Dipankar Sigan Barua from Bengali Buddhism in Bangladesh. He had a very good work. He produced some text on that. So he agreed that it's possible. Possible in the multiple time he visited in Bangladesh this time. And another hypothesis that you can see, if you explore that Pali text, Nikaya text, mostly that Samyutta Nikaya, Anutta Nikaya, and Tharagata of Kuttaka Nikaya, we can see some character like Mangisa Thera or Mangisa Manga Nataputta. So this monk, they named this Manga, you can see this name, this character. So they claim that they came from the state of Bengal, or Banga. So since they came from Bengal, so they're known as Bangisa or Banga Nataputta. So these people are definitely from from the territory of Bengal. So we can see some characters. So this question that came to me that, if the teaching of Buddha was not reached in the territory of Bengal, how they know of the Buddha's teaching? Probably the teaching entered somewhere, somehow. Maybe he went there sometime. Then maybe they heard about Buddha. So they can decide to become ordained as a monk and became disciple of the Buddha. Actually, from the text, from the great 80 disciples of the Buddha, among 80, Bangisa Thera was one of them, one of the great disciples. And next is that, how can you see from the travelers like Master Zhuanzhang, or in Bengali we say Himan Shang, and Master Zhuanzhang's traveler. So he was a Chinese traveler. So he traveled in the 6th century. He traveled when he traveled this Bengal territory. He heard that Buddha was traveled there in that time. He spent quite good time in Nalanda, in Bihar state. So Master Zhuanzhang, he documented that Buddha spent more than 6 months in Punjabadhan. So Punjabadhan is also known as the present day one part of Bangladesh, Rajshahi, Bogura, most northern part. So, and Samatat, another East Bengal, Tamralipi, South and Southeast Bengal, and Kornosubano, West Bengal, for the purpose of spreading Buddhism. So Zhuanzhang's record, the area of Samatha included, the Samatha, the place that we said present day, Dhaka, Chittagong, Bodhishal, and Sylhet division of Bangladesh. So it is this record you can get from Zhuanzhang. So this, you can see that his Zhuanzhang's travel record. So he traveled, all over along the way, East Asia, I think not Southeast Asia, East Asia, and of course South Asia as well. We can see that he traveled most of part of India and Tamralipi in Bangladesh. And yeah, this is his travel record that we came to know through the research here. As with this, I'm very grateful to Ananda Judiviko. He made it actually, this map. This one, and this one is also recorded in Singapore, Asian Civilization Museum thing. So, and another hypothesis that we can get it's very interesting actually. 11th century there was one Kashmiri poet. Her name was Shemendro. So this poet, 11th century, he recorded that, according to her narrative, the Buddha's visit occurred with the request of Sumana, the daughter of Anathapindika. So the guy, he was one of the great benefactor of the Buddha. So his daughter married one guy who was from the Punjabadhan. So that time that for give her blessing in this wedding ceremony, Buddha traveled in this territory of Punjabadhan. That note actually came, we see from the text, Shamanjo's Sanskrit text, Buddhi Sattva Dhana Kalpalata. The text. It's very interesting actually, And then Punjabadhan, that we can see that Punjanagar, that present day, the territory is included that Bogota, Rajshahi, Rampur, Dhaka division, and West Dinajpur. Actually, it was a big territory, but we can say Bongabhumi, that entire. So entire Bengal, including West Bengal and present Bangladesh, this one. Okay, so and some we say some local narrative, that local legend, that how they believe. So local people from Chittagong, they believe that Buddha probably came here, when he was traveling by getting invitation from a king of Arakan. So he spent some time in Chittagong in Chakrashala, this area. So it's very popular place for Buddhist people for 1,000 years. So in the memory of Buddha's visit in Chakrashala, people still celebrate on the eve of New Year. We say Chodro Shankranti in that day. So they use people offer candle, flowers in that area. So this area is still there. Interesting that around surrounding that area there was not much Buddhist. Buddhists are a bit far away, but still the place is well protected by the Buddhist people. And this was the early stage, maybe 100 years ago. The picture was taken. Actually, I collect this one from Shodhamulakamala. It's actually from Dhammatilak Mahataja's work. And that one, this is the most recent that I got it. So we believe that Buddha maybe visit there, and he spent some time. So I think as I read, the things that maybe if you want to explore more, you can read one of my recent work. I contribute one article, one chapter actually in this volume. So you'll have a look on that about Lee Buddhism and stuff. Okay. Then another place, Ramkot Panasam Bihar. While Buddha visit in Arakan, so probably he spent some time over there. So according to local people, that this is also one of the important places that Buddha was, Buddha spent some time at Ramkot Manasam Bihar. So when he got invitation from King Mahachanda Surya. Actually, this is very interesting. Actually, it was that place, and how this place was discovered, unearthed in the beginning of the 19th century. This was a very interesting thing. Actually, it was unearthed by Chandra Mahastavid and another one, Jagat Chandra Mahastavid. So both of them is a teacher and disciple. And how they came to know, how they discovered that place. Very interesting is that one of the texts they read, Arkanist text, is called Dhaya Wadi Bojayan. I'm sorry, my Arkanist pronunciation is very bad. So it's an Arkanist name, the text. So basically he was the one, when he traveled to Arakan in late 18th century, he got this text and he could read Arkanist language and Burmese manuscript as well. He found it. And at the time he brought his disciple, his name Jagat Chandra Mahastavi. The picture is not clear, but I think this is the only one picture that we have it. I took it from Ramkot Panasam Bihar, that wall that is the picture here. So both of them, they studied the text. And unfortunately, before unearthed, he passed away. And the excavation is still not finished yet. Then after some time that he got some courage, and Jagat Chandra continued their journey. So then he bring his local friends, devotees, and they found that place exactly. It was under some big ferocious jungle, some small hill. So they try to excavate slowly. At that time, they don't have any kind of modern technology or some other stuff. They did by themselves from their own courage. They found it. They found this monastery inside this place, inside the hill. And you say that they also found some written, written rock-edit stone, which was written in Arkanist language. It was very old text. And that language was what was written in that part of this rock relic, it was exactly the same that he wrote. He started from the the text from Arkan they discovered, and they found that maybe this is the place that Buddha was here, and he spent some time over there. So the inscription, according to this inscription they found, it mentioned that the Buddha and his disciples spent a night at Rangkot, Panasam, Bihar. So during this visit, the Buddha is said to have predicted that a future king, his name is Ashok, he will enshrine relic of the Buddha at that site, which would become known as Ramu Rangkot Chetia. So Emperor Ashok, actually, he sent Buddha relics to different places. So it was one of the places. But the thing is that, the Buddha statue, it was not built in the time, no. Because in Ashoka's time, there was no Buddha statue. The tradition of a statue came much later. Even 500 years, 600 years later after Buddha passed away, the tradition came. Mostly that became popular, if I'm not wrong, during the time of Kanishka, Kushan dynasty, it just came. So that time Buddha relic was sent there in Banasam, Bihar. Later on, they replaced on this Buddha, inside the Buddha. So the inscription, it was further mentioned that King Chedi, one king, and succeeded of Mahachanda Surya from Arkan, he said that it would construct a Buddha image carved from green stone, within which the Buddha's bone relics would be placed in the head of the statue. Actually, that according to this manuscript, that the rock relic manuscript was found. And this site would thereafter become renowned, very popular until today. It's known as Rangkot Banasam Buddha Vihar. So you can see that what they found, after the excavation. So we still have some of the small evidence, we can say. And this story was written in the present day's wall. It was written in Bengali at the moment. So you can see some small thing here. Probably these are developed in the 5th century, 6th century. Yeah, maybe in Pala dynasty time, probably. So it was found in after the excavation, Rangkot Panasam Buddha Vihar. Okay, so now we move to our second stage. So second stage that we can say that from the medieval time, we can period from the 2nd century to the 12th century. So next 1,000 years, what happened? We can have a look. So, in early times, for the Gupta dynasty, it was very dominating dynasty in India, and also, Bengal also part of his kingdom, his dynasty. So, in the time of Gupta dynasty, there was one traveler, Fashian. So, the guy traveled. That time, Bengal was known as Tamralipi. So, the name always changed, different time and different name. So Tamralipi. So he saw that Fahian spent 2 years in that territory, Bengal territory, and he saw in his travel log he mentioned that he visited the standing Buddha statue in Rajshahi district, and he saw the Bodhisattva Manjushri in Bogla district. He also recorded, he saw that a lot of monasteries were there. He saw this statue. So it was quite interesting that, during the time of Gupta dynasty, the Buddhist people mostly followed the Mahayana Buddhism there. So all the figures like Bodhisattva Manjushri and some character that we can say that mostly the Mahayana Buddhism in that time. So from that evidence that we can say that when Professor Deepak Musikyan, he also agreed that the Mahayana Buddhist tradition was widely fostered at the height of the Gupta dynasty. So, in this case, Bangladesh also, the time Bengal territory, Mahayana Buddhism was expounded. And this some evidence that we can say, this statue was, from Gupta dynasty. We have in the Rajshahi Museum, Bollywood Research Museum. We can see this standing statue, and also Bodhisattva Manjushri. And it was quite interesting, like we can see some use of bronze in that time. The statue, it's a bronze one, and it is a rock carving. I think it's a basalt rock, probably this one. And in the Gupta dynasty's time, there's a lot of scholar there. One of the scholars, Chowdhury. Actually, I'm it made me a lot of impression that recently I got a trip to LACME, your country, Los Angeles Country Museum of Art. So I found it, Chowdhury's one. Actually, it was from Bangladesh, this one. So you can see that from this statue that I found a small writing here, then I zoom it. Sorry, here, zoom it. I zoom in and I see that this is the Mahasiddha Chowdhury. It was like close. Of course, it's hybrid Sanskrit. Professor Shakya knows very well. So it's actually Chowdhury was one of the great scholars for Mahayana and Vajrayana tradition. So he was living in Bangladesh. He from that great part. So this one, if you have time to, you can visit here. LACME, very close, and you can see this statue over there. So basically, it was from Gupta dynasty's time, yeah. And one of his great texts actually found in Nepal. Shiksha Lekha, that like text, just found in Nepal, not in Bangladesh, Nepal. It's found. So it's written in the Sanskrit character. Yeah. So then the next after, of course, the Gupta dynasty is another great contribution is that they support for Nalanda Mahavihara. So Nalanda Mahavihara was probably, it was fostered during the time of Gupta dynasty. And we can came to know this note from Chinese pilgrim Master Xuanzang. And according to his record, he said that King Shakrayaditya or Skanda Gupta, he was the established actually Nalanda Mahavihara. And that time both Mahayana and Vajrayana tradition strongly practiced over there. And you can say Bangladesh also one of the part of Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism during the time of Gupta dynasty. And after this, another dynasty dominated. It's called Khalga dynasty. It was lasted for not much long time, for 90 years. That Khalga dynasty. So this Khalga dynasty, another pilgrimage. We came to know his story. Chinese pilgrimage named I Ching. He recorded that King Deva Thorgo and his successors actively supported Buddhist monasteries and religious institutions. In this travel account, I Ching noted that approximately 400 monasteries for monks and nuns exist in Samadhat during the 6th century, indicating the strong institutional presence of Buddhism in this region. Actually, it's quite a lot, 400 monasteries during that time. That means it's huge. I don't know how many people, but there are not much people. Probably for each of the small village, they have their own monastery. So he counted approximately 400. It's a huge amount. It's huge. So another scholar, it's a very prominent scholar, he recently passed away, Professor Chowdhury from India. So one of his great texts, Contemporary Buddhism in Bangladesh, he said that archaeological discoveries, including images of Avalokiteshvara from India, and Bodhisattva Vajrayana from Shubhapur and Dhyana Buddha from Bhagerpur are associated with the Khalga period. So according to his research, he found some statue that discovered which is in the museum in India. So these are probably from Khalga dynasty, one of the great evidence that you can see. So this evidence strongly agreed that Mahayana Buddha and Vajrayana tradition strongly fostered in that time. So we can see the next one, the Great Pala dynasty. It's very popular. It's popular for when you explore the Buddhism in Bangladesh. So mostly we came to know their works from Pala dynasty. So that time, the Pala kings strongly support to spread Buddhism in the entire territory. And under the patronage of Pala king, famous Buddhist sites such as Tikutaka, Bashu Bihar or Mahastangor, Shumpur Bihar at Paharpur, the Shumpur Bihar, the picture that you can see from the flyer. in the beginning. So then Ato Manyamiti, Shalban Bihar, and Kanak Stupa Bihar, Kumilla. Here there's Pandit Bihar. Actually, there are so many, but whatever we came to know from so far. So this prominent site, prominent monastery. Actually, this was not a monastery. It was also, the practice that all the educational part as well. That's why it's called Mahabihar. Mahabihar. This one. Yeah. So at the height of this civilization, Pala dynasty revitalized Buddhist culture throughout the Bengal territory, Bengal Delta, until the both sides, West Bengal and East Bengal. We can see that they are at work. And this is one of the Shompur Mahabihars. As we can see now the ruin actually. Now we can see we don't have the just like Nalanda. We can see just ruin, just Mahabihar. It's a very huge actually, venerable. It's a huge. It's unbelievable. And you can see the carvings, the artifact, and there are some terracotta blocks. They are still beautiful. There's even 1,000 years ago they developed it. This tradition. It's amazing to explore actually. We still need to have a lot of research required. Still need to get more information on that. So, and the Pala dynasty, you can say that it is the time of Pala dynasty. You can say the renaissance of Buddhist propagation. From the 8th century to the 12th century, the time. And then that some statue that you can see, this one, first one, that from Asian Civilization Museum, that bronze Buddha lotus mandala. We can see that even they practice the mandala tradition, is the Mahayana tradition, and also that the 8 signs for the life of the Buddha. We also can see that the important 8 events. So this statue from Pala, so it was built during the Pala dynasty time. So there's some significant 8 scenes like lying, Mahaparinibbana, or his all the Buddhahood, important event. And this is the standing one. I get it from the Asia Art Museum of San Francisco. This one, this is a very good museum actually. It's a lot of Buddhist collection. Amazing. This one. And here you can see that Buddha and one story, like one elephant. It was trying to attack the Buddha, and Nalagari elephant. So the whole story through the art, stone carving art, still here. So this just example that is developed during the time of Pala dynasty statue. And during the time of Pala dynasty, there are so many great scholars, like one of the Shantideva, Acharya Shantideva, who wrote Buddhicharya Avatara, one of the fantastic texts. I think we studied together, right? Getting the Jampa. Yeah. So one of our great professors he was retired from Columbia University, and he moved to International Buddhist College. So we studied at Buddhicharya Avatara under Geshe-las. Shantideva's 7 texts. He was actually from Bengal, from Chittagong. And another great scholar, Chandrakshita, he was the former chancellor for Nalanda Mahabihar. And he was the teacher of Chandrakshita, yeah. So he was author of the Madhyamaka Alankara. And also he was developed the Yogacara Bhumi Shastra as well. And another great scholar we know that from Pala dynasty is Atisha Dipankar. He lived in the 10th century. His text, Buddhipata Pradadipa, is a very early text. Actually based on this text, Lamrim Chenmo is developed. So Lamrim tradition came actually initiated by him. Lamrim Chen is a Tibetan name. So it's a very, very great text. It's 3 volumes of Lamrim. We used to study together in the Geshe-la, even a long time ago. So yeah, this is Atisha from Dhaka, from Bengal, Dhaka. And we still feel that Atisha's birthplace is still the present form. Last time that Shushila and I visited together this place from Dhaka, and Atisha's mural carving, Bengali people they strongly respect. Even it is a mural carving. It's a wall of Chittagong, some Jamalkand area of Chittagong. There's mural carving here, and Atisha's only painting we have is in Metropolitan Museum of Arts. I can see that. This one, the oldest one. This very, very, very beautiful tonka, still 1,000 years old tonka, got from Lhasa. This one. Yeah. So this Atisha is a very, very important figure, but he's represented one of the great scholars from Pala dynasty. So Atisha's relic, it was returned to Bengal, but he initiated Tibetan Buddhism in the 11th century. It's a very important figure for fostering the Tibetan Buddhism. So after his passing, 1,000 years later, led by one of the great monks, Vishuddhana Mahatera, he received the relics of Atisha in 1978, if I'm not wrong. Yes, 1978. And still now they're here, inside the relics is there. And there is one text, Atisha's text, it was written by him. It was given by Chinese government to Bangladesh during that time. So, and Pala dynasty's another contribution was to establish the Bikramshila Mahavihara. Bikramshila Vihara is very important, but present located in Bihar state. But it was built supported by Dharma, from the king of Pala. Yeah. Then another great thing that from Pala dynasty that you can know that in that time one literature called Charyapada or Chachapod was developed. It was actually very. It took a long time. It took almost 400 years to develop this text, according to record that we have. So this text actually found by Holy Prasad Shastri in 1907. Actually, you know where it got it from? Nepal. Actually, the Royal Library of Nepal. So when he was invited to visit his place, Holy Prasad Shastri, he got it. He found it. This Chachapod. It's one of the great literature, great poetic way it was written. So it was developed basically, from the time of Pala dynasty, and mostly Vajrayana traditions and Tantric tradition. It was, based on this Tantric and Vajrayana Buddhism. Okay, so now until 12th century done. So we're moving fast. So now 12th century to 18th century, what happened? That's we say the darkest stage. This one. So. After 12th century, that foreign invader, they came and they start this destruction from somewhere from Middle East Asia. So Ikhtar Muhammad Bhakti Khalji, according to record, that this guy, he and his fellow troops, army, they destroy Nalanda. So that time start to the dark age of Buddhism initiated. Of course, that religion, Buddhist and Hindu will start to suffer after the foreign invader came to India. So that time, what happened actually? Even this is a dark time. Of course, Pala dynasty fall, but still there is another surviving dynasty came. It's called Deva dynasty. For the short time actually, not long time. They were the last Buddhist dominating king dynasty in after that time, from the 12th century to 13th century. We don't know the exact time actually, but it's a scholar period in that way. So the time they still continue to develop Buddhist monastery, to support monks and scholars, and we can see that Mainamati, Shalvan Bihar in Mainamati in Kuminda district of Bangladesh. So we still can see their rule, but it was developed basically in the time of Deva dynasty. Still see the beautiful carving actually. Still, you can see that the front gate of this monastery is still there. It's quite beautiful. Okay, so now in the museum that we see some of the evidence, some stone Buddhist artifact from Mainamati Museum on Kuminda, Bangladesh. Then after this, we don't know exactly what happened. So then, some of the evidence, some of the that was written by local scholars. So one of the scholar named one of the monk contribution is called Chandra Mahatera. So he lived in the 17th century. One monk. So we came to know some of his contribution during that time. So one of his contribution was so the place the Buddha visited, they have some chakrasam. So it is said that Chandra Mahatera, probably he helped in 15th century to depict one chakrasam, one the wheel of Dharma, some wheel inside, was inside this stupa where the Buddha came before. And another evidence, another record is Arya know very well about Buru Goshai on the statue. So this statue not completed, but we just got it, just a hat. So it was also brought by Chowdhury Mahakara in 15th century from Myanmar. So another thing also got Chowdhury Mahakara donated. He brought this statue from Myanmar to Ural Stobi in the 15th century, and this one found during the excavation of one hospital in Chittagong, Chittagong General Hospital, when they discovered late 18th century at the time. So, and then later they replaced to the one of the central monastery in Chittagong, that one. So it is 15th century's contribution, the statue. So we are trying to explore, Buddhism during the Dark Age through the arts. Yeah. And then another thing that we can frame about another local legendary, it is one monk. He lived in 17th century, 1700 to 1780. So he practiced meditation at the time. So he believed that one of the local benefactors named Shubedar at the time, that Shubedar was one of the royal representative for British
title.
I think it's not from British. I think it's from the before British colonial time. Probably the Shaista Khan, from the king. Yeah, Mughal. It's a part of Mughal period. Yeah. So that time he supported to build this temple, this stupa or temple, 17th century. It's located in Uninpura, one village, Potia sub-district of Chittagong, Bangladesh. So the monk name was Kangra Lah Mahatera. The name is a bit close to Arkan's name. That time it's Arkan dominating time. So this is his cremated. His body was cremated in 17th century, and this temple is now still there. It is the monastery where he would practice meditation. He was a deep meditator during that time. It was local have a lot of mythological stories based on his legacies in that time. So we just came to know some of this stuff, but we still don't know it exactly. But that doesn't mean that Buddhism was not there. But there's another hypothesis that during that time, Rauli tradition, there's another tradition, Rauli tradition or Luli tradition developed. So this was close to very neither Theravada or neither Mahayana. It's another tradition. There's still some scholars that are working on that. So just for your information that this Rauli tradition, they strongly claim that the tradition came from Buddha's son Rahula. So maybe Rahula, when he was sent for propagating Buddhism, he came to the Assam area. Probably he spent some time in Assam and then Chittagong or Bangladesh side. So the Rauli tradition, and that they strongly claim in that way. So anyway, so this is still Dark Age, so we don't know much more than that. Maybe scholars could be working and they can dig out some more information on that. So now that we come to try to hit the modern Buddhism, modern stage. So we can see the modern stage start from 1850s, but we cannot say that this is the kind of reformed Theravada, that started reforming the Theravada tradition. And it was led by, according to the scholar point of view, it was led by Shadamada Mastavi from Arkan, and also that Chunpundacha Chandra Mohan Mastavi as well. But still have a lot of works, a lot of controversial stuff still. But still, it is believed that modern Theravada Buddhism initiated by them. And after this, that there are two Buddhist traditions, two Buddhist Nikaya developed. One is called Mahastava Nikaya, and this is called Sangharaja Nikaya. So those Nikaya have their own patriarch in that time. So they are, it is the images of each Nikaya's patriarchs. Sorry, that this time there are 14 patriarchs, 14 Sangharaja, but I did not include his picture. And this some of the images from the Mahastama Nikaya. And still, this is the present patriarch for the Mahastama Nikaya. So, but even the two Nikayas there, but it's not much difference. It's like a Thailand have also two Nikaya, like Dhamma Nikaya and Mahanikaya. Sri Lanka too, right? Sri Lanka have 9 or 6 Nikayas. Myanmar also have a lot of 5 or 6 something. But they do the same thing, same Theravada tradition. They follow the same Vinaya stuff, same thing. They do the same thing. So these are the supreme practices for images for each Nikaya. And presented at it's quite interesting. Like presented that Buddhist people are very tiny amount. We can say that 0.6, according to data from 2022, from people from population and housing census from Bangladesh, this side. So you can say out of 160 million, that approximately 2 million, approximately, it maybe can be more or can be less. Just predict approximately people live in, where people are Buddhist in Thailand. So most of Buddhist people are living this side, the southern part, Chittagong. You can see the yellow spot, and some Dinajpur, some Dhaka, for the work purpose. But the root mostly from Chittagong, Kumilla, they say here, southern part. And that Buddhist community that we have a lot of, like you can see the my surname, Barua, Chakma, another Marma, Kisha, Tomchinga, Rakhine. So this is a community, but each community have their own legacy. They claim that they are very directly related to Buddha's teaching or Buddha's legacies. Like Chakma, they claim that they come from Shakya tradition. Of course, my friend Midos is from Shakya. He's from Shakya family, Buddha's family. Leap Buddha. Yeah. So it's each of the traditions that have their own legacy. Chakma, Marma, Rakhine, all that stuff. This community are present that they are living. And of course, the Buddhist festival that we do the same way like other Theravada countries do. We have an important event is the Visakha Puja Day, the commemorating the Buddha's birth, Mahaparinibbana, and his enlightenment. And we also celebrate widely the Kathina ceremony. It's very big, not like Thailand. Thailand does do the few hours, but Kathina is for us a big thing. If we have to wear a new cloth, should be. and it's like a big festival actually. Even the Kathina, we celebrate for 1 month. Yeah. We visit each of the village in the time. It was quite very amazing tradition actually. They do, and we have another important event like Madhu Purnima, like the Hannibal offered in celebrating that. The monkey, it could be history that monkey offered honey to Buddha. So that festival that we celebrate very widely. And another one that's important is Pravalana. We have a Skyline festival. It's quite interesting. So Pravalana Purnima is we have a launching Skyline in the sky. I'm sure that US is not allowed for doing that. And at the moment, it's a bit terrible. I think in Dhaka also sometimes they try to stop it because it happens a lot of accident, so it can make it. But anyway, it's an amazing festival. In Chittagong, the whole sky is like a lighting, lighting is first, it's just moving and around the sky. Whole is, even a small community Buddhist, but it's amazing to see. And of course, it's celebrated not only Buddhist people, but also our Hindu friends and Muslim friends and Christian community. Everyone come together. Yeah, and sometimes the program is launched initiated by some government official. They start to launch this program as well. It's quite interesting, very nice. And we have a Buddha Puja, like we offer to the Buddha, like Sri Lanka, they do it, and light, lighting, and candling. So we also do some fruit and do it. We just offer it. And sky, also some image like the basic thing that other Theravada countries they do, Sanghavana event. We just taking 5 precepts and 8 precepts and offering to the monk. Monks offer Dhamma talk for them in the Sanghadan as well. And also it is one of the picture for Kathina ceremony. But this is the very interesting that this chibor, it is a very unique tradition. It was built by 24 hours. According to the Buddhist tradition that Visakha told, within 24 hours. And a lot of people involved just make only one room. So his main it is a Chakma king. He's a Chakma king, Devashish Rai. He offered this one to His Holiness Banavante, Sadhananda Mahastavi Banavante. He was one of the great monks actually from modern Buddhism. He is known as because his meditation teaching and Dharma talk is very famous. He passed away in 2012, if I'm not wrong. But his legacy is very important for propagating Buddhism in Bangladesh. So the time, during his time, in the 70s, the tradition started, but until today. They make the rope, just one rope, but thousands of people, I think million people sometimes, million people involved, just make one rope. Everyone like to help. Everyone cooperate.
Just touching for the Purna.
Right. So this is Kalem. I love to do that actually. Yes, I love it. Whenever I get chance, I do that. So when it was with me and my mother, we just just throw the Kalem. It's during the time of Pravarana time. It's very nice. It's very nice festival. I love it. I didn't get a chance in Thailand, but I do often. I go back to Bangladesh. If I go attend this time, I do it definitely. I participate in this celebration. So that's it. And of course, the missionaries, so things. We're still not Buddhism in present day. We not only stuck in Bangladesh, we stay here. Even I see my brothers and sisters from in the US, in the West Coast. So we still have some missionary activities. So missionary activity, Buddhist missionary activities done by through the two ways. One is through the philanthropist way, and another is through studying meditation. So from philanthropist and altruistic activities, it was initiated by Karmayogi Kipashala Mahadeva in the late 18th century. He was one of the very pioneer figures, Kipashala Mahadeva. And also the other one is the Vishuddhanta Mahadeva. Both are very, very, very important. Without them, we can't imagine modern Buddhism in Bangladesh. And that's, I think we can have a different talk maybe for what this contribution on that. So this is a very important figure for missionary activities outside of Bangladesh. Of course, they also unified Buddhism inside Bangladesh as well. And another inside meditation practice, basically by, in 80s, Dipama, who is known as Dipama, Nonibala Barua, she's from Bengal. So he doesn't know any English. But her teaching is very, very, very popular here. So some at the present day, like Jack Cornfield, Sharon Salzberg, that's her direct student. They brought her to IMS, Insight Meditation Institution Society in East Coast, and also that the Spirit Rock too. Amy Smith make a very nice book about Dipama. And another was Anagarik Muninjoji. I think Muninjoji is from your place, probably.
From
Damsha.
Shushil's area. So he also came to US around the 1970s, so they make a lot of contribution for that. But these two like Kipashala Mahadeva and Shanganak Vishuddhanta Mahadeva, without them, we can't imagine the Buddhism modern Bangladesh. I mean, they're like a pillar, I can say. Without their contribution, we can't imagine. Anyway, so Kipashala Mahadeva's his contribution, I just wrote a little bit about his Dhammankul Mahavihar in West Bengal, Kolkata. His 18th century. This was the first temple actually. And he and Anagari Dhammakal, they worked together for make it happen. And he not only supported to initiate the Buddhist temple and other stuff, he also, skillfully, he also helped to build up educational institution, more than 30. So that time, colonial time, it's not possible, but he used his wisdom to how to build it. So maybe you can have a look at one of my articles, the Kipashala Mahadeva. I keep this link, so you can have a look on this. I just do that briefly, but still not a lot of research on that for the contribution of Karmayogi Kipashala Mahadeva. So another thing that I'd like to mention that in India, in the logical subject, brought in for the first time by Dr. Benimada Barua. He started initially from Kolkata University. But Benimada Barua's earlier life, he got huge support from Kipashala Mahadeva. They worked together in the very beginning. So then they, inspired from Kolkata University, Dhaka, Chittagong. and other universities also breed the Indological course, like Buddhist studies course, Sanskrit studies course. The both Kipasha Madhavi have a great. Of course, Benimata Barua's name also we should be respect him, his contribution. And Dipama, of course, Dipama that she's another pioneer. She brought the Bengali Buddhism, tradition, meditation technique to the West. Even she doesn't know any single word of English. So, but her all the students like Joseph Goldstein, Jack Cornfield, or Sharon Salva, they are the very big giant name for the US side. So Boston, but her teacher was Dipama. So you can see that in Sharon's, Jack Cornfield and Dipama, and Sharon and actually it should be Diparma. Yeah. It should be Diparma, but I think it became like Dipama. But they can't. The Westerners maybe they can't pronounce. They take out the R. Yeah, should be. Yeah, that's Dipamas have a huge actually contribution in that. So she captivated foreigner through the Spanish Vipassana movement, Muslim meditation. I think she was a student from Mahasi Sayadaw of India, professor from Myanmar, Mahasi Sayadaw. So her tradition, she taught very simple way, and we still have some record of Dipama's teaching, some record. And she speaks, you can see that her language is pure Chittagong dialogue. Yeah, it's very pure. I heard few of the record. She is a huge contribution of prospering, bringing the Bengal Buddhism to the outside of Bengal, you can say. And the Bengal Buddhism, actually, not to stop, we like to make a temple. Actually, we like to make some small institution. So in the East Coast and West Coast, we have some Bengali Buddhist institution. I think it is maybe in New York City. A few years ago, I was visiting there. Yeah, New York City. That time, I visited some of the Sangadana ceremony of some monks. So I took it. So in New York, have I think quite few monasteries there. So we have some monasteries in outside of Bengal also. But it's Bengali Bangladeshi based basically. So in Brahma Vihar Monastery in Long Island, yeah. So it's Venerable Shuktananda, right? Dr. Shuktananda, he's the founder for this temple. There's 9. I think it can be more, maybe 9. I know that there are about 9 monasteries in here. Yeah. Probably could be more. Maybe I can almost 10 now. Almost 10 now, right? Okay, maybe so then I'll get more. So then there's at Shadavanda Buddhist Temple in Brooklyn, in New York, so a few years ago. And another one is that Bangladesh Buddhist Bihar in New York. I think they have now 2 temples. Yeah. I think this temple have 2. And in the West Coast have I think you know that Dr. Silvananda Thera, he made the one temple here, Shambhuti Bihar, local in recently I visited his temple. Yeah, you're alumni. Oh, fantastic.
He is different.
Wow. He is different from US. Oh, wow. So he contributed to build this temple in Long Beach. And another one also is the California Buddhi Bihar. I think it was the first one, right? First temple in the West Coast. Yeah, California Buddhi Bihar. Recently we visited there. That one, and also that it was mostly not only stuck in US and the Canada as well. In Toronto have some. I think not one. And I saw another one is Montreal. Yeah. Montreal as well. So Buddhist is Bengali Buddhism is fostering. We are missionary activities. It's growing. And now there's of course talk about the hard part, challenge at the moment. So yes, we have a lot of challenge. I just saw that our most biggest challenge is we got it 2012. It was even there so many incidents happened. 2012 it was a massive incident happened. More than 30 monasteries was burned, and 200 houses, Buddhist people houses burned. But it's still now a lot of incident happening in Rangawati, Kakachori. But some information, some news are coming into this mainstream media, but some is not. So it is where that time it was very hard time actually, that time, very hard time, this one. So this temple is actually very old temple, I think your place, very close to your place. So it was totally completely burned. And this statue was probably more than 500 years. And in that temple have so many manuscripts, and all are gone. Palm leaf manuscript, original one, all has gone. Time. So during that time, the vandalization came from extremist people. So this is some image that we have it. So that time is one monk, our Chowdhury Mahatma. His statement was very heart moving statement. He said that he gave an interview in one of the media, Prathamalu newspaper, and Daily Star as well. And also he traveled to Geneva at the time, and he also told that what happened. He was a senior monk, great monk. He passed away. So he said that how to explain this vandalization. He said, my civilization is lost. My lifetime of worshipping has gone in vain. I am a lost man, and lost I will be. Please save my future generation, please. That's why his very moving statement that we saw that during that time. So yeah, so many things happening, still now happening. I don't know, future, I don't know. But I hope that they continue their legacy. So even we now come to the conclusion part, like Buddhism in transmission in Bengal region is traditionally traced to the time of the Buddha and continued for nearly a millennium, for 1,000 years. So more than 2,000 years to 600 years have passed since the introduction of Buddhism in the territory of present-day Bangladesh. The Buddhists of Bengal Delta are therefore regarded as among the earliest Buddhist communities in South Asia. We can predict in that way. One of the earliest traditions that got a Buddhist transmission from the Buddha himself directly, but still they are continuing that tradition. So from that context, maybe this tradition is 2,600 years old. And even they have a lot of challenge, a lot of including foreign invasions, or colonial rule, or post-colonial political transformations. But this community, Buddhist communities in Bangladesh, have preserved their Buddhist faith, practice, and cultural identity, still continuing with the big way, in large way, with big pride, still continuing their tradition. And the historical transmission of Buddhism in this region is present an important milestone in South Asian history, contributing significantly to the development of Buddha's culture, literature, scripture, and monastic tradition. So even it has a glorious tradition in the past. It very prosperous in the Pal dynasty. From the 8th century to 12th century, it said that Bengal Buddhism, it was the glorious past. Sometimes they said Buddhist Renaissance.
Golden Age.
Golden Age, sometimes they said. Renaissance, I think it's a European word more. Renaissance people, yeah. So that, but then it was fall down. But now, whatever tradition they have, the Theravada tradition, they continue their tradition, Buddhist transmission in Bangladesh. So thank you very much for all of your attention and coming over the long way. And also thank you again, Professor Miro Shakya, my good friend, and also Honorable Siddhananda, the long time. And also all everyone for your active for your attention. Thank you very much. So if anything, reflection or anything, any comment or anything, then I'm very happy to respond.
Thank you so much for your insightful and very engaging talk. We learn a lot about the Bangladesh Buddhism. Bangladesh is very important for even from Mahayana perspective, because birthplace of the great Panditas, Artisas, Sandarachita,
right.
and Santideva. I myself practice Dharma, Mahayana Buddhism, so I'm very thankful for the birthplace of all my teachers. Teachers are from the Bangladesh. It's very important. And even it has a little, very small portion of the Buddhist, but still it's very vital.
Yeah.
But they contribute a lot to Buddhism. Right? So we have very little bit time for a few questions and answers. So let's open up.
Yes,
Thank you, Professor, for a wonderful presentation.
my pleasure. Thank you for attending.
I have two questions from early stage in Buddhism in Bengal. And you mentioned a picture in your slide, Shampura Bihar.
Yeah.
Basically I am from part of South, not part of Bangladesh.
Oh, fantastic. Where are you from?
Bogura.
Bogura.
And I visited many times in Shampura, Bihar. So I saw many terracotta, many arts, many statues. These are related in Jainism, Hinduism, and Buddhism. So my question is that why they built from 3 religious traditions in Shampura, Bihar? My other question is that there are 177 room in Shampura, Bihar.
Yeah.
It's very fantastic, and it is 27 acre. Are there any connection in Buddhist philosophy or Buddhist ideology in Shampura architecture?
Well, okay. Let me find one by one. Thank you so much for your great question. Actually, why the 3 traditions together, like Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism, all are together? Yeah, this is a great thing. Actually, from 8th century during the time of Gupta period, Pala period, Shampura Bihar was developed actually. Before Pala, Gupta dynasty. Gupta dynasty basically they support largely Hinduism, Brahmanism, we can say. And at the same time, they also are a great benefactor for Buddhism as well. So that time, Jainism, Hinduism, and all Buddhism, they practice together, hand in hand. And you can see that, what you say that like maybe in a museum, like Bollinger Museum, like you saw all the traditional there. The three traditions, they poster. And in Bengal land, it was very liberal that time. It's like not like even present day. It's very hard to say that how modern they are. I think they're more modern than us, the present period, and they allow all tradition they can practice together. So, yeah, and another thing I can just write to relate that Venerable Siddhanta, he knows much better on that. When the Sarvastivada tradition initiated in India, that time Sarvastivada tradition and Vibhajyavada tradition, they practice together, but they are both are the different thing. Even in the same temple, they practice it. Sarvastivada, Abhidharma, and Vibhajyavada, or which is later on to say Theravada Abhidharma. Yeah. So even I think they continue that part of harmonious practice, I think until 12th century. Probably maybe this is one of the related. And you said that about that 170 rooms in Sompur Mahavihara. I think they will have a huge amount of monks they live in, maybe probably 1,000 monks, I don't know. Maybe 500, maybe 2,000, I don't know. But each monk need their own separate kuti for practice meditation or their own reflection time. So if you think that it's connected to Vinaya or not, probably because monks prefer solitary practice, they need quiet place. They also have a lot of rules related. And when the monks, Theravada monks, so they need more reflective time by their own, from their own space, but not Theravada Mahayana or any time. I think they need some separate, concentrational space. So probably that reason that 107, more rooms. But and another thing also that it was, you see this structure, archaeological structure, it was huge. It's giant. So I don't know how big it was actually. Just we see the just ruin.
Yeah.
We can just still, just it's nothing left. Yeah, maybe if there will be some strong discovery, who can sort of past, maybe we can tell us something. Yeah, still I'm telling from my prediction. I hope I answered. Okay.
One last question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you talk about the people, very interesting topic, thank you so much.
I'm very happy for that. Thank you for coming.
You talk about the Luri people.
Yeah.
I did some Google research that they have some bit of Mahayana and
Yeah.
I want to know about the present context.
The present they have, my friend just told me, our very good friend, I think many of you know, Mr. Barua. He visited some Luri temple. He said that there are 22 existing Luri monastery in hill tracks area, 22. And he has one text is called Agartara in Luri. Thara means, let's say that related to Thara Devi. Thara means of the Buddha. 820, it based on 28 Buddhas, Agartara. And this text was written by Rahula, Buddha's disciple. So according to this Luri tradition, they strongly believe, Rahula developed this tradition. In Theravada, we have the chanting, like 28 Buddhas, 29 Buddhas chanting. So they do the 28 Buddhas, they recite their name. But still now, as you asked that, still now we have 22 monasteries. According to my friend, he recently visited some Luri monastery in Chowdhury area and hill tracks, especially in Chittagong hill tracks area, but not in the plain, plain Chittagong hill tracks area have. So when they have a hard time, but they still continuing this tradition. And in the past, like Chakma circle, they strongly supported in the past. And it was supported until Chakmanani Kalindi Rai, as far I know, probably. But still now we have these people. 20. It says that if there is 22 monasteries, that means all together maybe 25 to 30 Luri monks there. Yeah.
So they are like a hybrid of Theravada, Mahayana, or they are
Yeah, good question actually. I still don't know. I haven't made actually personal Luri monk yet. Yes, I'm just talking from my friend's investigation and what he told us. I think they are not purely Theravada way. Theravada is so strongly from the Vinaya, basically Vinaya tradition. I think they are, maybe you can say a kind of hybrid, kind of.
Professor Deepen Barua, he also presented recently.
Yeah, in IBS, in Leipzig, he was present one, yes. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting,
I have
yeah.
one question.
Sure, please.
Okay, convey my gratitude. So we are happy to you read to the article we saw. But my question, when we start the Mahayana, because Bongabhumi or the Bangla, we are start Mahayana system to Theravada or Theravada system to Mahayana. But you tell them start the Mahayana first, right?
Not really. Okay, good question actually. Thank you very much, Didi, for your great question. Actually, I know that
No, I don't
you
know.
concentrated. Yeah, it's a very great investigation
We are
actually.
confused.
Yeah, okay. Let me to clear to you that. Excuse me. Okay, so early stage there was no Theravada, no Mahayana. We talk a lot about in the past. So that also we say early Buddhism, that time. But in the early stage, in the Buddha's time, so that early transmission, we can't say it was Theravada, but until Ashoka's time, 3rd century BCE, so Ashoka came almost 3 centuries later after the Buddha's passing away. That time, Theravada tradition initiated. The tradition known as Theravada tradition, maybe at that time. So from that context, that early Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism, and then when 2nd century to 12th century, that time Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhism first started in the Bongabhumi area. And 12th century to late 18th century is Dark Age. We don't know much, but probably Mahayana or Vajrayana or Tantrayana was there together. And from 18th century, mid 18th century. Again, Theravada back. It's back. So, mid-18th century. This is just I try to relate. I think it can be.
We are the together of the three of it's the.
True tradition, yes.
Three, it's the three, right?
Three traditions. Yeah, we experience all.
Yeah. So this is the first. We start the Bengal on the. Sharameda Mahastobir or our...
The Sharameda Mahastobir came later, in mid 18, from Myanmar, 1856, from Myanmar.
Yeah.
He came from later.
Before, what do we follow, what system we follow?
We don't know. Dark Age.
Yeah.
And that's why I said Dark Age, it's just somewhere, Dark Age.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's the points that's the point says that we don't know what we do in
Exactly, we don't know.
Okay.
It makes
We lost
time. We don't have any proper evidence, but evidence sometimes we got it from British document, from British libraries
But I think the Buddhist movement is still going on till 14th century, right?
Yes, they continue. They continue this tradition. Even our the family like Barua, Chakma, Marma, Tongchinga, whatever, they continue this tradition from the since beginning. But monastic
But
system,
here is
yeah.
something lost. We don't have even ropes. We have lot of here. They say they are monk. We say used to local language is we call the thakur. But they are not monks.
Yeah, that's why I saw the story about Changa Thakur,
Yeah.
something like this. Yeah.
Yeah. We lost.
Last question.
Yeah, sure, please.
Thank you so much for giving this
You
opportunity.
can leave.
Vaishali Didi from India.
Okay, thank you, thank you,
Anyone
thank you.
Do you have class? You can leave. 2 o'clock class.
Yes, sir.
And you can stay.
Already joined.
Okay, so nice to hear your talk today, Professor.
Okay.
And
Thank you for coming.
yeah, and because we don't know, like being from India, but we don't know what is happening in Bangladesh. Yeah, especially related to the Buddhist period, how it evolved. What we can, like you told in the beginning, like the ancient period, you have Bangisather. So
Yeah.
Bangisather, a lot of information. You have a Bangisa Sanyutta also in Sanyutta
Right,
Nikaya.
right.
But still, like, it's not enough to know about, the Buddha's time.
Right.
So that was one of my questions. Like, if you have come across some more information apart from the Tipitaka, like maybe some additional information which you find somewhere, right, like the relics of Mangisather or something like that, or maybe during Asoka's time, if there are any inscriptions, like, because Bangladesh at that point of time was part of India.
India.
Yeah.
India,
So
yeah.
whatever is the history of India is.
There was no India at that time. It was Magadha.
Yeah, yes, Magadha.
Jambudika.
Yeah, subcontinent. We all, there's
Yeah.
nothing more. Yeah.
The 16 Mahajanapadas, like they said.
Yes.
Banga is one of them.
Yeah.
Banga is one of them.
So do you have any Asokan inscriptions or?
Good question, actually. Thank you so much. This question. Very good question, actually.
Thank you.
We had some Ashokan's inscriptions. It was found in the time of the British period. We got one from in Noakhali area, but it was taken.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually, I personally don't know. I just know that one, but we found one. And another Ashokan inscription probably was there in Ramu Ramkot, because it was directly, it was built by Emperor Ashoka. Ramu Ramkot, Banasa Buddha Vihar, in mostly close to the Myanmar, southern part, Myanmar, Cox's Bazar, the ending part of Bangladesh and territory. So that part maybe have some, but local people strongly believe that it was also part of Ashokan territory. Ashokan territory. So Ashokan territory, that means Bengal, Ashokan territory, that means Bengal under Magadha too. So another question that you have, that a few questions you answered about from the scriptural investigation about Bangisatera, Bangisa Putta Tera's thing, relics or whatever. I think according to Theravada, according to Pali manuscript, we don't have. I researched it, probably some serious textual scholar like Srinanda, Venerable Srinanda, he maybe can find it, but I didn't find, I haven't got anything. And I investigate from the Sutta, not investigate from Attakatha. So maybe commentary Attakatha or commentary or Tika or Anutika maybe have some more information probably about this Bangisatera. But whatever I know that Bangisatera was came to see Buddha and he heard about Buddha's teaching. That's what it was written. So he heard Buddha's teaching how? If Buddha's teaching not came or not enter in the territory of Bengal. So Bangisatera, he came from Bengal. He was born there. So from that context, that it can be quite, it convinced me that maybe Buddha was there. From that context, yeah.
Yeah. The Sanyutta Nikaya mentions Buddha visiting the place where Bangisather was residing in that vihara.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. I noted. Thank you so much for this.
Can I add one more thing?
Please.
Bangisa actually was a poet.
Poet, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was the first Bengali poet. According to Bengali history, we believe that.
Yeah, he was a poet, yeah, poet.
I got this news from the Calcutta one writing. There was he was the first Bengali kavi or poet.
Right. Even you can see that Bangisatera's story from Theravada isn't poetic way it was written.
Yeah.
All poetry.
All poetry,
Yeah,
yes.
that is why-
Gata,
yeah.
it's a poetic process. Yeah.
He's foremost, the Etadagga in Patibhan,
Patibhan.
like residing at that moment.
Right.
Yeah.
It was very brilliant in this case.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, nice sharing. Thank you.
So once again, our sincere thanks to Dr.
Thank you.
Sanjoy Barua for excellent talk. And I also want to announce that next April 8, there's another Bongabhumi Bhikkhu, Bongabhumi, will be giving talk on Takata's commentary work on April 8. If you have time, you can please attend. Same time at 1 o'clock. And thank you everybody for participating today.
Thank you very much.